Hello, my name is Corey Engstrom. Today I'll be reviewing my use of technology in a division of fractions lesson that I taught to my students in an online school environment earlier this year. Now, I think there are two key strategies that are really important to providing the best learning experience for students in the online school environment. And the first is the importance of communication with both my students and my parents. Some of the common tools that I use for this are Google Classroom, email, phone, YouTube, Zoom, and Remind. These are technologies that help me to communicate with my families both clearly and consistently. Second, I believe that it is incredibly important to partner with parents at home. Some of the ways that I did this last year were meeting with each family individually. I also sought feedback from families to find out what their specific needs were. I helped parents and students understand how to access our weekly schedule, where to find it, and how to ask questions. I used a Google form to gather interests and activities that my students enjoy. I provided screencast video tutorials that helped answer common how-to questions. I gave example routines and talked about at-home learning. There's an example here that I have of the home learning schedule that I developed for my own family during this season. So with those two foundational strategies of communication and partnering with my families, I think that every lesson this year has built upon that foundation that I laid at the start. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the lesson example for today. The standard that I'll be addressing focuses on division of fractions, and the context for the timing of this lesson is that it takes place toward the end of the unit after students have already been introduced to the standard. Now, at the start of all my lessons, I have one of my students read the objectives for the lesson so that my students can hear from a peer and have a clear expectation of what the lesson goals are. And as the student is reading, I like to use the spotlight feature in Zoom to help focus the class's attention on what is being shared. Now, some of the major activities in this lesson are student collaboration in breakout groups and creation of Google Slides presentations. After modeling an example slide, I share the instructions for the breakout rooms both verbally and in chat. Prior to the start of this lesson, I created two Google Slides templates that allow me to offer additional support to any EL and special needs students. The first slide in each of the templates outlines some clear directions about which specific slide the students will be working on, depending on their assigned breakout room. Now, I like to keep the number of students in my breakout room small, between 2 to 3 students, and this encourages more conversation among the students. Now, during the breakout room time, I, as the teacher, am joining as many breakout rooms as possible, starting with the rooms that are my EL and special needs students, and then going on from there. This helps me to informally assess my students and to observe and engage with them in conversation within their group. Each Google slide that students were assigned contains two elements. First, on the left-hand side of each slide is a space for students to write the definition to the key vocabulary term that they're given. Second is a space for students to insert a photo of their hand-drawn poster that illustrates the term and an example of its application. Throughout this year, I've been leveraging the insert image feature in many of the Google apps. At the start of this year, I put together a screencast tutorial using Screencastify that outlines exactly how to insert an image. I use the broadcast message to all feature in Zoom to give students 2 or 5 minute warnings during breakout room time as we transition to the next parts of the lesson. The lesson assessments that I used were informal monitoring of student understanding throughout the lesson, synchronous Google slide presentations and poster creation, asynchronous completion of the remaining slides, and a formative unit assessment using Khan Academy's Arithmetic Operations Quiz number 3. Each week, I meet individually with my students to create goals and review progress in each of their subject areas. All of this lesson data is then discussed with each student during our next one-on-one meeting. Thank you for this opportunity to share a little bit more about myself and how I incorporate technology to support my teaching online. I spent some time thinking through Monarch River Academy's mission statement and how technology in the classroom supports this vision, and I feel like I need to circle back to what I said at the start of this video. First off, it's so important to have clear, consistent communication between the teacher, the student, and the families. And I feel like this is critical to the success of our students. Second, I love technology, but I also understand that it is intended to augment our communication and not replace it. Ultimately, helping students become critical thinkers, responsible citizens, and innovative leaders prepared for academic and real-life achievement in the 21st century requires relationships. Understanding that each child is unique with a specific set of needs and expectations. And it's my privilege as an educator to use whatever resources, whether it's technology or not, to best reach each student where they're at. I hope you guys have a great weekend. You are all amazing. I appreciate you. You are the reason that I woke up this morning to see you guys. So thank you for being here. And I cannot wait to see you again on Tuesday. For me, you will be meeting normally on Monday with the subs, okay? So have a great rest of your day, guys. Enjoy your weekend.
I'll send you
Make some
pictures.
memories.
I'll be safe. I'll keep you in my head.